Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you have never been here before, my name is Erin. Usually on this channel I talk about trying to improve on home health and happiness, and I wanted to show you some things that have been going on for the last couple of weeks. I have been working like crazy outside, and it has been a roller coaster of events trying to get everything done that I've been trying to get accomplished out here. But I wanted to also talk about different things that help inspire me to want to be outside and that actually are beneficial to your mind and your body at the same time. So if you're really feeling like you're in a rut, or if you are trying to find a new hobby or something to get you moving a little bit more and just trying to find something to better your body and mind, coming outside and working out in the garden, or just even doing small things outside in general, it can have such great benefits that I wanted to show you what I've been doing and just kind of go over that as I show you kind of the highlights of the last couple of weeks. So we have a bunch of overgrown trees in our backyard that we need to actually trim and cut down. This one is way too close to the house. We've already cut it down once, but it grew back. And then we've got this one that died after the last, I believe last year it actually started dying, but it's completely dead now. And then we've just got like some overgrown stuff that just needs trimmed up. Oh, watch out. Well, we got a lot of it down. Dude, is it gonna, should I pull on it?
Yeah, we're gonna, here, let me do it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Don't get hurt.
You can stay out of the way.
Well, I'm, oh, whoa! Perfect.
Where I wanted it.
Second big branch down. How many did it go? Yeah, it's definitely a ways up. All right, round 3 or 4, I lost track. So we finally got the tree taken down, and we almost had an incident because it almost went over to our neighbors, but we managed to get it down without anything getting damaged. So all of these plants are what we're going to be planting throughout the yard. I ended up having to move them over to the side of the house because we had some really bad weather that came through the last couple days. And I don't know if you can see real well, but it is super foggy out right now. And so we'll see what the weather does today. I'm hoping I can get all this stuff planted, but we'll just have to see what happens today. So I finally have blue skies, so I'm going to be planting all of the flowers that I got from the local nursery. And I've also got some raspberry bushes, strawberries, and blueberry bushes to put in also today. So some of the flowers that I just picked up, I'm actually going to put some of these in the beds. This will help deter some of the bugs away. I'll be planting these first, and then going to work my way down to wherever I can put some other stuff in. This is actually a spinach plant from last year. It actually ended up making it over the winter, and this thing is going crazy. I have several different beds, so there's a lot more room in this bed, so I may put some more over here instead. It's really debating right now because these tomato plants are going to get kind of large, and these kale plants. So I mean, it's kind of like, you know, how much room do I really have over here? So that's kind of determine where I put some of these. And eventually I'd like to get some more flowers to add to this also. Next to this bed, there's actually another bed too. This one doesn't have as much in it right now, though. I do have like rows of beets and carrots in this bed, but not too many carrots at the moment, unfortunately. I got a ton of beets. So we've got to build another trellis for these beds. And then this side has the trellises, though. This is basically what we're doing. So that's what it's going to look like on the new beds that we're going to be building as well. She's got a lot of projects, so see how far we make it. This bed doesn't have very much right now, but I'm going to do some more vining plants in this one. And if you're trying to, you know, get some exercise, shoveling and raking, or just even walking around out here when you're mowing the lawn, I mean, that's a form of exercise, especially if you're just trying to get back on a routine again. It's a good place to start, and then you also get to enjoy being outside. So, you know, I find that to be really helpful whenever I'm trying to get back on track. I always find that if I start doing stuff outside, it really helps me to stay in a better structure with trying to get in a routine again. So if that's something you're finding that could be a struggle, you know, just thinking about going outside and working can really, really help. And I mean, yard work never sounds fun, but, you know, once you actually start going, usually it's not that bad, it seems like, you know, at least to me. you know what, raking and all that stuff, that's never fun. That's pretty hard work. But, you know, if you don't mind doing that kind of stuff and getting outdoors, at least it's got great benefits for your heart and it gives you cardio, so. I know they seem really tiny right now, but those are just my loose leaf lettuce. That's why they look so dinky, but they've been in cups and I'm trying to get them to actually get a lot more nutrients because they're finally getting better leaves on them. And these other ones are just taking off out here, so I figured it's probably a good time to start putting them out here. That way they start maybe growing a little stronger. But I'm also going to put a vining plant over here because we have this trellis that I'm trying to put something on so it climbs up. I do have a zucchini or a squash here. I'm not sure which one it is. All my things got messed up and I ran out of popsicle sticks, so I'm not sure what's what. It can feel very rewarding to plant because you can make your own creative space that you can enjoy and be proud of that you made it. It's exciting to watch them grow, especially when you start them from seed and then you can see them turn into something so much more pretty, you know, and you get lots of food from it. And then the more you plant, especially if you're planting food, I mean, instead of just flowers or trees, you know, that's nutrients that you get. And if you do organic gardening, it can be beneficial for your health as well. So, you know, there's a lot of pluses out of doing something like this, and the therapeutic part of it as well. So saves on mental health. Less therapy, right? So there was even some studies done on some patients who had dementia, and they actually found that they were able to create new neurological pathways and found some nerve growth throughout their brain. So, I mean, even gardening for stuff like that is still beneficial as well. I forgot how big the plant I was planting was. Got some flowers that I'm putting in this bed. So now it's in with next to the lilies. So next to the strawberry bed, I've actually got a blueberry bush that I planted already. And then I'm going to be planting this other one next to it because I've heard you actually need two for them to pollinate a little better. The only thing about being a gardener is messy hands. If you don't like messy hands, then this may not be for you. But I actually don't mind this though. So now both blueberry plants are put in, and eventually this will be like a blueberry patch. And then we're going to have a few different strawberry beds throughout the yard. Next that I'm going to be planting are those two raspberry bushes, and I've already got two raspberries over here. We used to have a third, but it died last year. We've now got pretty much the majority of our stuff planted for now. I think there's still going to be a little bit more that I'm going to be planting, so I wanted to show you the end result of everything that after going through the last couple weeks. So this vining plant, I still actually have to put it in. We're actually got to get a special trellis. Ignore the tie-up. The fence is falling apart. We got to fix that. Another project, another day. But right now I've got to get these planted. I do have all these flowers planted. This is actually going to be going up on top of the deck right now, and I'm debating on leaving the straw in here. I mean, it seems okay, but I'm debating on actually changing it to mulch. We're just kind of experimenting out here with a lot of this stuff, but I ended up having to actually put some of my vegetables over in this area because I ended up running out of room. So, you know, there's a tiny little tomato plant. We'll see how that does. This area doesn't always get a ton of sun, so it may or not work, but it was worth a shot. There's just a lot going on. We ended up having to get these bug candles because, oh my gosh, the mosquitoes here have been horrible lately. And then I got to pull this mustard plant out because it doesn't like the heat and already started flowering. But I've got some peas and some squash. I think that's squash or zucchini. And then this whole row is actually doing quite well. But these actually get quite large. So I'm excited to see how big they get this year. But that's over in this corner. And then in this bed, I've got another squash plant or zucchini. And then I ended up putting a pepper plant in place of one of the other spinach plants. And these are actually all my new ones. And the lettuce, and then there's broccoli and cabbages and I think the cauliflower died. And then my little green beans. And then over here, I actually have a carrot that's overwintered also. So it's just a little volunteer plant, which was awesome to see that I had one over here. Got some flowers planted in here to help deter some bugs, and some more green beans, and got my kale, and put some Swiss chard, and I've actually never had Swiss chard, so decided to do that this year. It's my tomato plants and some more green beans. There's so much going on back here. I have like piles of stuff all over right now because we have had one project after another going on, and our neighbors just gave us this raised bed over here, so we're actually going to be putting that up as well, but that's going to be later this week when the heat isn't so bad. But yeah, I got quite a bit of the same stuff, just kind of spread out through each bed. Changed a few things. And then this is just another spinach plant from winter. Even that middle one was from winter actually. Beets and a few carrots that planted over here, and some tomatoes. These tomato plants are really tiny compared to my other ones. And some peppers, and this is the majority of my stuff. All of these are beets, and then a bunch of carrots over on this side. And then over here I had a bunch of radishes, but actually I ended up pulling a bunch of them and then put some new seeds in. I'm not sure how well they'll do at the moment though. And then our strawberry patch. And then next to that is the blueberries. And over in this little bed, got more beets and carrots, and then another squash plant. So another thing I noticed too when I started planting all my own food, I noticed I was eating a lot more vegetables, and it seemed like I was getting a lot more of my nutrients that I was supposed to be. And I think it's also because, you know, when you plant your own food, you don't want to waste it either. I mean, you're so excited and passionate about what you've already created that you don't want to throw it out. So, you know, that's another plus about gardening your own food is, you know, if you're not big on eating vegetables all the time because you forget to eat them, maybe if you grow them on your own, it'll help you to remember that, you know, you got those sitting in there. But, you know, another plus is if you're planting trees, you know, that's helping with lowering carbon emissions. And then also, if you're doing organic gardening, then you know what's going into your own food. And there's so much stuff that they put into the food nowadays that planting your own stuff can be so much more beneficial because you know what you're putting into it, and you know you have control over what you want to grow and you know what it's around. So you know that's another plus. But I'd like to show you now also what else we've got going on in the yard. Over on this corner, this was the trees that we ended up pulling down. Eventually we'll have a lot of this cleared and put grass in and kind of fix this up. This trampoline's going to be gone. Put in some more of my raised beds. And then right here, these are my brand new beds that we actually just built. Actually, I'm putting some trellises on here. That's going to be a project actually this weekend. And I've got some more cucumber plants and some little tomatoes. I'm actually unsure of what these two front ones are, so I'm kind of just waiting to see what they turn into. And then I've got some pepper plants in the back. Over on this cart, I've actually got quite a bit of more either squash, zucchini, or cucumbers. I got everything so mixed up. I'm hoping that those are more cucumbers than anything, but we'll just have to see. And then I actually have some more tomatoes and peppers, and these are actually cayenne peppers. So I'm excited because I've never done those yet. We're going to be making 2 more beds that are going to be in front of these other 2, and those are where these are all going to be. And this is my raspberry patch. This plant and that end plant have actually been here for 3 years. So I'm hoping to finally get some fruit off of them because they do take a while. And then this last bush that we added in, it's gonna be a pretty big bush. So I'm so excited for this time of year. I love being out here and just being able to see the changes and making it into an area that I can really enjoy coming out to. It can bring you such peace just coming outside. And if you have anxiety or if you have depression or just mental health issues, you know, coming out here to look around at all the beauty around you, it can really boost your mood and just even be out in the sun a little bit, you know, obviously wear sunscreen. But, you know, when you come outside and you can be around all this and hear the birds singing, last year, I loved looking at the squash and the cucumber plants. They had the most beautiful flowers on them, and so I'm really excited to see that again this year. And you know, when you can improve on just those little things in life, it can bring so much joy, and just being able to go look at it every day is exciting. Even just putting plants in your window can be exciting, especially if you start them from seed. It's one of those things, like when you start planting something from seed, it's so exciting to watch it turn into something else and get so lush, and know that you planted that, and you know, that seed grew from what you did. And you know, I feel like they're like my little babies. Every time I come out here, I talk to my plants. I'm not gonna lie. I do enjoy talking to them. They don't talk back either, so it's kind of nice. And just being able to learn and find new ways to experiment with planting out here. You know, every year I change up the way I do things. And sometimes it works better than it does, you know, other times. So, you know, I'm learning as I go, but that's some of the fun involved in it. So, and I never thought I could be a good gardener, and so I was always putting it off and never even wanted to try it. And when I moved to this place, it really made a difference in me thinking that maybe I could do this. And you know, I'm still a new gardener at a lot of this stuff, but you know, there's just so much information out there that you can get. And I mean, even videos on YouTube, there's so many channels out there. And you know, it's exciting just to try things out. Even if you don't have a huge area, there's so many plants that don't actually take up that much space. And when you're creating your own space, you know, you're bringing your own life and your own beauty to the world, and it's an expression of your own creativity. And it's exciting to see all it change before your eyes. And you know, it's just inspiring to be out here. So I'm glad I got to take you along with me, and thank you so much for watching. And if you want to see more content from me, make sure to hit that subscription button and tick that notification bell. Stay tuned, and until next time, again, thanks for watching. Bye.